A lot is happening in Canada right now, but I believe there is much more still to come. And change may start soon happening quite rapidly. I believe there's a convergence of perspectives going on right now from, yes, the truckers' convoy, but also national public opinion, what public health officials are saying, and even what politicians are now doing behind the scenes. So we have the truckers' convoy that initially began as one particular grievance. They were, of course, concerned about the truckers' vaccine mandate. They said they were going to travel from the West Coast to the nation's capital in Ottawa to take a stand. Now, they've done that, but they've gained steam, momentum, and supporters along the way. People standing at the side of the road and on highway overpasses to cheer them on. And what began as a very specific particular complaint and grievance has ballooned into something much larger. It's become a symbol for people from all walks of life's complaint with the way we're dealing with COVID-19. Basically, why do we have these broad-based, overbearing rules and mandates for everybody still so far into this? In 2022, when 90% of folks are vaccinated, almost 50% of adults have received their booster shot, public health officials saying the Omicron variant is much milder than previous versions. What's going on? Why are we still seemingly stuck in a rut? Why did Prime Minister Justin Trudeau bring in a new mandate just the other week, the truckers' mandate, at a time when other places are stepping away from mandates? When places like the UK have said no more COVID rules at all? You think Canadians aren't aware of what's going on across the world, in parts of the United States, the UK, in other countries? They are. They're looking around, and regardless of their politics, they're saying, well, why can't we be more like that? And public opinion is changing. Slowly, more and more people are saying, I don't buy it. I want to get off the endless restrictions. An Angus Reid Institute poll showing that a majority of Canadians now saying end all restrictions, and others may need to self-isolate. High-risk persons may need to take precautions, but leave the low-risk persons alone. And what's interesting here is this is actually basically public health consensus right now. If you watch things that were said just the other week, press conferences by Dr. Bonnie Henry in BC, Dr. Kieran Moore in Ontario, Dr. Eileen de Villa in Toronto. And Dr. Eileen de Villa, she supported some of the most aggressive restrictions, but she is saying, among with these others, we're going to have to start treating COVID-19 like the flu. We're going to have to learn to live with it. Those officials, there's others, a number of public health officials all across the country saying this very stuff. And yet Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he can't bring himself to even say, learn to live with COVID. What is going on? Well, I think a lot of politicians are getting frustrated too because they've been hearing from their constituents for quite some time. They're reading more about the documented harms of lockdowns. They're frustrated. Ontario only just got out of a lockdown just the other day. And I think a lot of MPPs, well, they weren't particularly supportive of it, at least in Doug Ford's own government, but they're always being told, oh, just wait, don't ruffle feathers. Particularly up on Parliament Hill, a lot of Conservative MPs said, we're the official opposition. We should be opposing a lot of this excessive government. But it seems like Aaron O'Toole's office said, no, guys, don't make waves, don't say anything. And he could never bring himself to ever once say, maybe these lockdowns aren't so great at all. He never opposed lockdowns. And now there's a big movement to oust him, to remove him as leader from his own caucus. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this unfolds, but momentum is clearly on the side of individuals who want fewer COVID restrictions, who say, let's do away with it all. Let's proceed forward productively, look around at how the world is learning to live with COVID, and whether it's the truckers, public health officials, opposition politicians, or just regular folks who are talking to each other about their new perspectives, talking about how, hey, I just had Omicron actually the other week, and it was really mild. Oh, does it justify locking things down over? No, to be honest, it doesn't. I'll tell you, I went to the gym on the first reopening day for Ontario the other day. Now, on previous reopening days, when I've gone into facilities on the first day, people have walked in cautiously. They've made a point of using the hand sanitizer, being really diligent, keeping away from people. Not the other day. I gotta tell you, people just waltzed into the place. They were like, whatever. Clearly, they didn't buy that the last lockdown was even necessary. They're frustrated. They are just ready to get back to things. Perspectives have changed in Canada. We got to move forward, end these restrictions, get back to our lives.